Best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine?
February 9th, 1951. 10,205 babies were born in America that day. While all babies are special with their own unique destiny, one baby stood out from the rest. This child had so many talents that one name couldn't describe him. His parents named him Alan Lloyd Oxenhandler, and they called him Ollie for short. But for those who loved him, and there are many, we called him Ox, Big Al, and professionally, he was known as Alan Ox. To many of us, he simply became the Ox, and he was blessed with so many talents: actor, singer, songwriter, inventor, comedian, tap dancer, graphic designer, woodworker. There were few boundaries to his creativity. There were few limits to what he would think, create, and accomplish. He always believed with the right combination of these talents, he was destined to become a star. And so were you, because he surrounded himself with equally talented friends and created a mind trust. What follows are the many voices of the Ox, our close friend, collaborator, and always the consummate entertainer. Ox, you will always be our star.
You don't play magic on a fancy guitar, so you may never be that kind of superstar. No one can say that the glitter's gonna shine any less. If you do your thing and you do it like you do it best, you're gonna shine. You're gonna shine. You're gonna shine. Fly me to the moon, let me sway under the stars. Let me know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. When you arouse the meat in me, my heart says yes indeed in me. Proceed with what you're leading me to. It's such an ancient pitch, but one that I'd never switch. There ain't no nicer witch than you. Than you. In the wee small hours of the morning, when the whole wide world is fast asleep, don't you know, you fool, you can't win. Why not use your mentality? Wake up to reality and me stop. Just in time, I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. I was lost. It's 2:45, and no one in the place except you and me, Dave. So set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story I thought you should know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby, one more for the road. My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of people too, people who smile at you, and each time I leave Chicago is. These little town blues are melting away. I'm gonna make a brand new start of it. Oh, in old New York. And if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Hello, I'm Alan's son, Evan. I'm 37 years old. I was born in 1984, and if I had to describe my dad in one word, well, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it because he was just so many different things. He was an entertainer, he was a piano player, a drummer, a singer, a comedian, a dancer, an actor, a playwright, a composer, a painter, a cook, an inventor, an entrepreneur, a graphic artist, a husband, and a father. So I guess if I had to describe him in 15 to 20 words, that would be it. Yeah, the one of those that really stands out to me is entertainer. And being an entertainer was the one thing that informed his decisions and actions in almost every other facet of his life. Wherever he went, whatever he was doing, if he could put a smile on your face or make you laugh, that's what made him happy. If he could make you snap your fingers, tap your toes, nod your head, that's what really made him light up. And we've got, lots of family photos going way back to when my sister and I were little tiny babies of him playing piano and singing to us. And some of my best, earliest memories of my father are me lying on the ground underneath his Kawai baby grand piano and listening to him practice. And I can say with pretty much 100% clarity that if it wouldn't have been for his musical influence, I definitely wouldn't have followed the music career that I did. And if I could have just 5 more minutes with him in this world, I would tell him I love him, and I would ask him to sing for me.
I get high when I see you go by. My oh my, when you sigh, my mind inside just flies. Butterflies, why am I so high when I'm beside you? It's only love, and that is all. But it's so hard loving you. Yes, it's so hard loving you, loving you.
Hey, Bob Brandon here. I'm just reminiscing about how Ox taught himself how to play piano in the mid-'60s. He came over to my house, and the first song he ever played was Martha, My Dear, and it was awesome. And then came...
Baby, I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. And maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you pull me out of time. Humming on the line. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need you.
Maybe I'm a man, maybe I'm a lonely man who's in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand. It was something like that.
Martha, my dear, though I spend my days in conversation, please remember me. Martha, my love, and don't forget me. Martha, my dear, hold your head up, you silly girl. Look what you've done. When you find yourself in the thick of it, help yourself to a bit of what is all around you. Silly girl, take a good look around you. Take a good look, you're bound to see that you and me were meant to be for each other. A silly girl. Martha, my dear, you have always been my inspiration. Please be good to me. Martha, my love, now don't forget me. Martha, my dear.
For Alan, he has a shrine in my heart. His unconditional love built it there. Generosity, kindness, joy, spontaneous and creative spirit, they remained intact. The culture did not eat him up. It did not swallow him. He had high standards, and the one he was trying to please was himself. Alan was not afflicted with the disease of practicality. He remained who he was, and he knew who he was, and tried to live up to what was big in himself. He polished his innocence, like the saints and the poets. I wanted to write something funny, but I couldn't get there. He is my heart of hearts.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone help. When I was younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way.
Ox was the most talented guy at U City High School, and the class of '69 elected him most talented and then also the wittiest. And they loved him so much, he was elected vice president of the class. I first came in contact with Ox's musical talent when we were both high school freshmen, about 1966, I think. And we played together in The Chosen Few. That was the first gigging and traveling band that I ever played in. Here's a long-lost studio recording that was recently unearthed. Ox and the band playing an original song called And When I'm Thinking of You. Check out Ox's drumming. At age 16, he was a fucking stud on the Skins.
Promise you'll wait for me tonight when the time is right for us to meet. And we can go out walking on the way. And when I'm talking to you, you'll know what I'm telling you is only meant to make you think of me. And when you're thinking of me, somehow I can tell it. And I feel like my future is decided, and you know I feel delighted, 'cause I'm sure that if you're thinking of me now, I'll soon be on your mind alone. Things weren't going well before you came, but I can tell that even though your face is new to me, I like what you can do to me. And oh, I tell you when it's true, no one could love you like I do. And girl, I couldn't ever love you any more than I do now. You tell me that you're mine, and I will take your word and trust in you. When you say that you'll think of me and that you will always love me, it will make me glad to know that I will always be the one thought on your mind.
Okay, I'm kind of confused back here, but anyhow, I'd like to see this great sign. I'd like to start the story about Mr. Oxenhamler. He was our first seamstress for our band before the band costumes came in. He helped design this, like many things he did, and has traveled with us when I met him. First time I met him was with Charlie Mitchell's house. I was told there's some musicians in U City, so I traveled way far away to U City and met them, and became friends. And years later, I got a call from, I think, Joe Sohm or from Al or somebody about they're wanting to put together something with Gary Scott and Joe Sohm, Pat Rainey, who I know and played with years before that, and Al. I think we call it Maiden Voyage. They did a great marketing job, and the whole trick on that band was that we played more than one instrument, and that was good because none of us got bored. We all sang. We could do any style of music we wanted to do because of our instrumentation, except for the beginning. Al showed up with these purple drums, and we were supposed to share drums. There weren't big enough drum sites for 2 sets. So therefore, the purple drums would not make it. We had to veto those, because especially they walked in with purple socks and the purple drums. We figured that is a little too much. So anyhow, we used my drums from there on, and it worked out great. We got to travel. Al got to write songs. I got to write a few. Our second contingent of the band was Charlie Morris and Bill Nocamper. Charlie wrote a couple, and we did this crazy thing called Space Wood.
Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be better off than you are.
Long, long time. Touchdown brings me round again to find not the man they think I am at home. No, 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 no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out the fuse in his very alone.
which was a pretty bold idea for our time, combining musical things and visual things. And we'd wear little goofy costumes. I had no idea how he did it. I had to wear tights, which the only reason I wore them was because they remind me of my wrestling tights. So Al looked great as a wizard. He invented his own wand. Again, he invents all kinds of things. And the thing he invented this time was, in fact, a flash from a camera mounted onto a star or something like that. I think he got it to work. I can't quite remember. I was too busy running around all the time doing my shtick.
Hey, how you doing there, everybody? All right. Hey, before I get started here, I just want to say congratulations to us all for the 50-year anniversary of the lunar landing. This week, it happened. Yeah.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
You're my Saturn booster. No one can shoot me up like you. Oh no. When we met, I did know that all systems were go. Come down to your pad on a Saturday night. While you're gleaming, the lights on my orbital fantasies mastered. 'Cause I know when I'm in you and ignition is on, nothing can get me going like your thrusters. But that's 'cause you're my Saturn booster. 1098665432. You're never gonna bring me down. Oh no. Shoot me up. Without guilt, I can say I'll go all the way with you. Well, my friends tell me our relation is a reach for the moon. That translunar injection would sever this love of the ages. But the story didn't reach me till I saw the control. And I knew that our love was to end in the primary stages. But now I see it's all 'cause you're my Saturn booster. And though the flames went bright and short, oh yeah, I knew from the start, in the end I'd be parted with you. Saturn booster, you're the greatest of them all, oh yeah. You're 363 feet tall. 7.6 million pounds of thrust. Saturn booster, you're the greatest of them all. When I call you up, your lines engaged. I have had enough
you.
Hi, Joe Sohm here. You may remember me as Joey Sohm. I was Al's bass player for 4 to 5 years, or I prefer to think of it as Al was my singer for 4 to 5 years. You know, when I think about the math of playing 4 to 5 years with Big Al, I think it comes down to we worked together 600, 700 nights. And that's a lot of opportunities, a lot of band breaks, and it's a lot of chance to have a drink. But more than that, Al and I were more than bandmates. Our relationship transcended music. In fact, I was even standing right next to him when he met 2 of his 3 wives. Now, I can see you thinking maybe 3 wives. Al did everything in high quality, but he also had a little bit of quantity involved there too. So one of the stories that I remember about Big Al and Joe is that after the band broke up, you know, it was like the Beatles broke up, we were both audited simultaneously by the Internal Revenue Service. So Al and I were kind of reuniting the band to go down to the Internal Revenue Service on Market Street in downtown St. Louis. And we go into 2 booths. Al's in his booth, I'm in my booth. I mean, he kind of viewed it as a recording studio, but it was an IRS audit. And so they were asking me questions and I was handling them. But I could hear the questions they were asking Al. And they were going, well, tell us about the band fund. Where did that money go? You're saying 20% of it was managed by Joey, the bass player? What did he do with that money? Well, you know, the band fund 3 years later, it went to buy clothes like this, where we went to Al's father's store, B&L, and we raided the entire store and got all of our double knit outfits. So that's where the band fund went.
Those of you who don't know me, my name is Rabbi Bernard Melchnik. Hello, hello. I was fortunate to have presided at Robert's bar mitzvah so many years ago. And Robert, are you there? Okay. As I look out upon the bright and shining faces, Robert, of those who have come to be with you on this special day, the day of the Hanish Teseh HaMahlachema, which roughly translates as the day I realized I wish I was much younger and should have fornicated many times more than I did. As I look out upon the beautiful faces who are with you on this day, I realize that as a rabbi, I'm sick and tired of doing the same thing and playing for these 2-bit occasions that have no special significance. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm going to quit the business. I'm tired of being a rabbi. I should have gone into the sunglass wholesale business with my Uncle Saul back in 54. He's a millionaire. May he rest in peace. The whole business could have been mine by now. But I'm not an angry person, Robert, so it's not important. But as I look out, I reflect, actually, Robert, upon the fact that I have a very bad wedgie going on right now. I don't know why. It's like an atomic wedgie. I don't know how to explain it. I'm tempted to drop my pants right now and give attention to this serious condition. However, it would spoil the sanctity of this special moment which we have here today because of this celebration, Robert.
Baby, all right, but you're so sweet. They're gonna knock me off my feet.
Lots of kisses on the bottom. And probably be glad I got them. Don't smile and say, I hope you're feeling better. I'm gonna slide the kisses like you used to do. Baby, I'll sit right down and
Each of us brothers were born 5 years apart. I, Harry, am the oldest, followed by Gary, and then my baby brother, Alan. We lived in one room growing up, and we learned to love each other very much. Gary, being the closest in age to each of us, and being the most practical and down to earth of any of us, was the cement among the brothers that kept us together in spite of our age differences. Alan was an Aquarius and lived in the realm of ideas. To him, ideas were as real as air and food and water. As a child in grade school, the teacher sent home a report to my mother saying, "Mrs. Oxenhandler, Alan is a very lovely boy. However, oftentimes in class, it seems as if he's just miles away." Alan was always seeking freedom of expression. And the three most important of his avenues of expression were music, creativity, and spirituality. He started out as a drummer, taught by our Uncle Jerry Sandweiss. He then, later in life, learned piano. He loved to sing and perform. Even as a young child, he wasn't the slightest bit shy to stand up in front of the family and friends and belt out one of the songs that our father always sang in the house. It was clear from his early life that music was going to be paramount.
Oh, Sienna, somehow I feel the jungle heat within me. There goes a rhythmic savage beat. Flowers everywhere, bags of perfume fills the air. Searching high, know my love's alive. I've learned to care.
Another form of freedom of expression lay in his interest in non-traditional religion. Although brought up in a conservative Jewish home, Alan found his way to a spiritual path known as Eckankar. The path of Eckankar teaches the seeker how to connect with the divine through meditation, and also teaches that union with the celestial music, or the word, was possible through meditation. Another form of expression for Alan was his creativity through his several inventions, which he patented. When Alan came back down to earth, he was a warm and loving and funny human being who loved his family and friends dearly. Thank you.
What you want is waiting for you on a silver tray. But if you want it too badly, you know you can chase it away. Maybe the solution is a quiet resolution. But don't push it too far. Life is a riddle. Tick tock, time on the clock, going very You've had enough of working and you want to go home. But when the working is the play, even the years will fly away. You know, and I know it too. Life is a riddle. Spend your life in a cave, but you know you can still be enslaved. Just giving up in your mind everything that you have. That's really towing the line. Was here and there and everywhere, and it goes no place. It don't get dizzy when it's spin around. It's a human race. Those people could be wearing crowns on their heads, but they like to dress in rags instead. Don't ask me why. Life is a riddle. Oh, life is a riddle. Oh, oh, life is a riddle, 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 riddle. Oh, 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 life is a riddle. Donna, 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 Donna. Oh, 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 oh. Life is a riddle, riddle, riddle.
O cicciornie, oči zazgučije, oči strastnija i prekrasnija, как люблю я вас, как боюсь я вас, занадто видел вас, я не добрый час. Очі чорня, утепла мене, ім'я на донні, справи дальня, где царит покой, где царит любовь, где страдания нет, вражды запрет, не выстрал бы вас, не страдал бы так, я бы прожил жизнь, улыбаючись.
Hello, friends and family of Alan Ox. I am his loving daughter, Lauren. For those of you who don't know me or recognize me, this is Alan's hat. I have a few things to share today. I thought I'd start off with a poem that I wrote and shared during our family Zoom memorial shortly after my dad's passing. It goes like this. My father, who scoffs at heaven, Alan be thy name. He hums and jams with chums on stage. He debuts at 7. Give us this day, you silly head, as we've outlived all your eyeglasses, and may we outlive all those anti-vaxxer jackasses amongst us, and lead us right into elation as we deliver your divine soul's retrieval. Aho, and mecca like a high, like a hiney ho. My dad taught me to be fearless in pursuit of my humor and my creativity. He was my person, my first spiritual teacher, my rock, my confidant. One really powerful memory I have is when he taught me to sing Tomorrow from the musical Annie for my first grade talent show. And what I loved about that is every time I sung and he sat at the piano and we practiced, my cat Asia would come up as if we were calling her, and she responded. Now, I'm not going to share that song with you because what my dad didn't realize is that I can't hit the high notes like he can. But what I do want to share with you is my dad's favorite lullaby and love song to me, which I learned later in life was from Guys and Dolls. It goes like this. I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap, and I'm talking in my sleep about you, 'cause I love you, a bushel and a peck. You bet your pretty neck I do, boom, boom, a doodle-doodle-doo, a doodle-doodle-doo, oodle-oodle-doo-doo, boom, boom.
The fact that he's gone is not a particular sadness for me, because I'm remembering the relationship that we had in performing, and that just feels so positive to me.
Yes.
That it, fills my heart, and that's how I want to remember him.
For years, I photographed the beauty of democracy. This America sparkles in the bright Kodachrome red, white, and blues of our flag. But over time, I discovered another America. In this one, you don't see the reds and the whites, only the blues. Originally, the blues were sung along the Mississippi from New Orleans to Old St. Louis. But today, the blues are found across our land. They're just around the corner in every American city. Just out of sight under a bridge or in a doorway to a store, that's where the blues can be found. Like a photograph with its gradations of black and white, here you'll find the shadow side of the American dream.
3 keys are in my pocket with some nickels and dimes. No matter what, I've still got 3 keys. I listen to them jingle and remember the times and what I used to do with these 3 keys. I wake up every morning at 5:45, as if I still have a place to looking at another day of pounding the bricks far from the streets I used to know, with these 3 keys. 1 key turned on my SUV, looked almost new when it was clean. 1 key, 5 days a week, open my desk by the coffee machine. There's a key that fits a door with a knob that has lost its shine. There's a house I lived in, a lawn I mowed, with a sign that says it's no longer mine. 3 keys, 3 little keys. I used to be among the people passing me by, busy pretending they just don't see. Like them, I too had trouble looking me in the eye, like they're afraid they'd end up like me with just 3 keys. 1 key turned on my SUV, looked almost new when it was clean. And 1 key, 5 days a week, opened my desk by the coffee machine. And then there's a key that fits a door with a knob that has lost its shine. There's a tree I planted, a lawn I mowed, with a sign that says it's no longer mine. 3 keys, 3 little keys. I used to be among the people passing me by, busy pretending they just don't see. Like them, I too had trouble looking me in the eye, like they're afraid they'd end up like me with just 3 keys. Still, I'll always believe there's a better day up ahead. All I want is my own 4 walls and a bed. But wherever I lay me down, at the twilight's last gleam, I'll never lose these keys to the American dream. 3 little keys to the American dream.
Was
at the University of Lakeshore?
Yes, well, I attained my thespian status, so to speak, and drama experience early on at Lakeshore.
You teach me how to do that, okay?
Listen, mister, you want to come out here and talk with the English accent, that's up to you. It's perfectly fine. Anchor people who can't even speak the English language very well. How do they get to the top of their professions, and how do we get them out of there? Full report tonight.
Mom, they got spoons here. Look, they got spoons.
What are you doing there?
Oh.
Look what you did now. That's what you get. I have to do it because you kids have been driving me crazy all day, and you...
There were
Yeah, well, I brought us here because this is where we first, you remember? That night? Yeah. Well, it's not the same now. I mean, what's wrong? I mean, having sex with you, I feel like I'm a dentist or something.
A stirring in the Force? Methinks it is.
The Force. Well, the Force, Luke, is a little maneuver I was known to practice upon pretty young ladies.
And of course, none of this is brought to you by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, makers of fine wooden Johnsons. Thank you.
As the years passed, Ox's vocal mastery of other people's voices, McCartney, Lennon, Wonder, and Sinatra, were absorbed and mimicked in song, theater, graphics, and inventions, from the recording studio to music videos to nightclubs. Ox integrated his spirituality into melody, lyrics, and dialogue. The greatest voices ever known led Al to find a voice of his own.
Counted blessings when we moved in here together, but your moods can touch me so. If things get out of control, you hide yourself in a hole. It's not as if there's no one else around. No, I'm the one who sees you going down. If tomorrow brings a day of love and sunshine, I escort you through your joys. Now I find there has to be rain, and I see when there is, I escort your pains, 'cause no one else is ever as close around to be the one who sees you going down. Well, it's not as if I won't accept the burdens of a love, so have consideration. Won't you see my situation? At the edge of a spiral called the Orion Arm, spinning out from the old Milky Way, there's a place some call Earth.
This is called the leader line right here. 1628, JL 1628. He's at 31,000 feet, usually given in hundreds right there. And there's our aircraft. And that triangle in the middle there, he don't belong there. This triangle on the other side of this blip, this slash, he doesn't belong there. Radar don't fly. Well, they can threaten and get in our heads till they make us comply. I told him, "How's it going, Sarge?" He said, "Fine, sir." I told him, "We have a sensitive shipment that came through. You got to be very careful about it." He says, "You want to see it, sir?" My name is Robert Jacobs. I was an officer in charge of optical instrumentation at Vandenberg Air Force Base with the 1369th Photo Squadron between 1963 and 66. What we filmed up there one day in 1964 completely changed my ideas about the universe and governmental manipulation of our minds. Were you guys screwing around up there at Big Sur? I said, no, sir. He says, well, tell me, Lieutenant, what was that? And I said, it looks to me like we got a UFO.
Little Columbus, did you break your compass and fall here among us to change things, arrange things, to save us here, enslave us here, and take us off to your world?
That I believe some of these UFOs may well be of extraterrestrial origin. So frankly, they run rings around us. Not only are they capable of phenomenal bursts of speed, but the ability to just stop and turn in an instant raises all sorts of issues about the G-force implicit in such maneuvers. Maneuvers, frankly, beyond humans to withstand. If this thing had been hostile and wanted to drop weapons and shoot missiles, it would have been very easy for them to do that. It had complete free run of our airspace, and we posed no threat to it whatsoever. And that was painfully obvious. Very, very much so. It was like, who's this SOB over here? And he comes up and he says, now, hold on here, fella. He said, you did not see any crash. He says, there was no crash. Now, don't you go starting any rumors. You're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble. Now, why don't you be a good fellow and go on and get the hell out of here?
I'm telling you, you're a part of all you see, never torn asunder, endless wonder, endless wonder, endless wonder. I hear the Santa Ana winds blowing from all across the plain. The misty memory of your loving baby that still remains. Need you to aim your shining love light back on me again. I head to Raleigh, down from Philly, through Kentucky, Terre Haute, Indy, St. Louis, Missouri, Mesa, Arizona, to that LAC. However far it takes to get you back, sweet Angeline. I saw your picture on a billboard in a pink limousine, wearing the cutest little dress, baby, one I'd never seen. I fell in love with you all over again, sweet Angeline. Terre Haute, Indy, St. Louis, Missouri, Mesa, Arizona, right into that LAC. However far it takes to get you back, sweet Angeline. However it takes to get your love back, sweet Angeline. I'm so glad that I got you back, sweet Angeline. Oh, baby.
So kind of with all that said, I'd like to play some music directly inspired by my father. I'm actually going to play an arrangement I wrote many years ago of his song, Wave of Love. So this particular tune, Wave of Love, is kind of what I think would have been the hit single off of that record. I feel like that if the fates had aligned a little bit differently for my dad and he had become famous, this would be the tune that he had to play at every single concert he did for the rest of his career, kind of like a Billy Joel's Piano Man or something like that. So anyways, thank you very much for listening, and without further ado, here is Wave of Love.
By a bed there in the night, a man in a robe appeared in light, shining eyes, bright and wise, startled her peaceably. And though the man said no word, a beautiful melody was heard, the lovely sound from all around caressed her inwardly. And she rode a wave of love from an ocean, a world away. On a road in a foggy rain, he found it hard then to explain the blazing light in the night around his autumn. He last recalled the coming drop, and he would say it was much more than luck that raised the car from danger far without a scratch to show. And he rode a wave of love from an ocean, a world away. I'm not blind, but sometimes I think I might have been better off that way. But I realize I can shut these eyes and I might get see someday. I'm not blind, but sometimes I think I might have been better off that way. But I realize I can shut these eyes and I might get see someday. In a dream like none before, she floated out a lovely door, and life she'd known so long ago were there for her to see. 10,000 faces in the scene, but she knew everyone she'd been and played a part before the start of this planet's history. And she rode a wave of love from an ocean, a world away.
You know, Alan called me a few years ago, and he and I both had these dreams of each other in different situations. And he said, well, Joey, do you remember when we were playing at Rubens? This is now going 40 years ago or more. And he's saying, during a break, people would come up to you. And this woman came up to us and introduced us as a professional psychic. Well, in St. Louis, you don't meet many professional psychics. California, everybody is. And she came up to us and did a psychic reading. And he said, do you remember what she said? And I said, well, I vaguely remember it. What was it? She said that you two boys, Al and Joe, you two are going to do well when you work together. And as it's turned out, that appears to be the case. That's when, just in 2012, I kind of decided to reunite with Al and myself. So Roger Kellaway and I were creating a photo symphony concert. My photography, my script, my story, Roger's music, arrangements, and original lyrics by Alan and Marilyn Bergman, our hero for when Al and I played together. So the problem was we had a concert with the Boston Pops performing it for 6 weeks, but we did not have a male singer. So Alan Bergman, Roger, and myself had a lot of conference calls about exploring which singer would be good. Personally, Roger and I were kind of thinking Tony Bennett would be a good idea because these were kind of Tony Bennett songs. Roger had just gone out on the road with him as a music director. But Alan said, nah, anybody but Tony. I'm running out of time. There's 10 days to go. We're going to premiere in Boston and we have no male singer. So I finally just got fed up and said, hey, my friend Al can sing this song. And Alan Bergman's response was, your friend who? I said, Al Oxenhauer. So I got Al to produce an audition tape, and another few days went by, and Alan Bergman and Roger both said, he's okay. So the show went on. So we performed those concerts. Al sang on the big stage to over 2,000 people, standing ovations every performance. And on the very last performance, he walked down the stairs, walked up to me, and it was probably the most touched I have ever experienced with Al. We had a moment, I guess you would say. He just looked at me and said, thank you, Joey. This is the highlight of my career. I didn't know what to say, but indeed, I think it was.
I come from America's heartland, along the banks of the mighty Mississippi. Not far from my home was old Route 66. In the American of my youth, my friends and I set out on day-long bicycle rides where our sole destination was simply getting lost. Each attempt ultimately ended in failure, back home in time for dinner with the folks. That's when wanderlust took hold of me and never let go. For the rest of my life, the open road called. Wherever this road takes me is where I want to go.
I think it's time for me to waken, to fry myself some eggs and bacon, put on a pair of jeans that know me well, and boots that have a tale to tell. A wandering day is what it feels like. An open road is what my wheels like. And where it takes me I don't know or care. I only know I'm going there. Across the railroad tracks and out of town, I hit Route
Route 66 with all my windows down. I'm on my way to places that I've never been before. To me, an open road's an open door. I pass the old red barns, they've seen it all. They've weathered winter snows and felt the rains of fall. I feel the wind across my face and smell the summer day, the scent of apple trees and new mown hay. The river follows where I'm going, with fields and meadows green and growing. I love not knowing what's around the bend. For every mile's another friend. I know the feeling that my wheels like, because it's just what freedom feels like. From sea to sea, from shore to shore, an open road's an open door. That's what an open road is
for. Roads personify democracy. They offer freedom to anyone who takes the time to travel them. Few things are more American than traveling the open road with an open mind, and I should know. I come alive when I'm behind the wheel going someplace I've never been before.
Across the railroad tracks and out of town, I hit Route 66 with all my windows down. I'm on my way to places that I've never been before. To me, an open road's an open door. I pass the old red barns, they've seen it all. They've weathered winter storms and felt the rains all fall. I feel the wind across my face and smell the summer day, the scent of apple trees and new mown hay. I know the feeling that my wheels like, because it's just what freedom feels like. From sea to sea, from shore to shore, an open road's an open door. That's what an open road is for. Shore to shore, that is what it's for.
Big Al, Ox, Alan, whatever celestial name you go by these days, thanks. Thanks for your voices, the laughs, the friendship, and enough memories to last a lifetime.
Picking through some old things, my mind was in the air. Then I saw your picture there, and visions of some memories so familiar to me pass through me. I keep the pictures of my life in an album in my mind, where a memory's never too hard to find. And if I don't want to see, then the colors fade for me in time. Gives us the reason love could light the way, growing closer day by day. So we don't have all the answers, this dream is ours for holding, molding. And I keep the pictures of my life in an album where a memory's never too hard to find. And if I don't want to see, then the colors fade for me in time.
I should have a chance to grow. Some other people never know. But of all the questions turning, one should never haunt you. I want you in the pictures of my life, in an album in my mind, where the memory's never too hard to find. Then if I don't want to see, then the colors fade for me in time.
So set 'em up, Joe. I got a little story I thought you should know. At the edge of a spiral called the Orion Arm, spinning out from the old Milky Way, there's a place some call Earth with its very own star, around which it spins in ballet. There they feud and they scheme for its riches, when there's more than enough for everyone. And the beings who visit from much lesser worlds call it the planet of the blazing sun. Tell you now I care for this world, and the owls in the trees and the scent in the breeze. Let me share what I can take with me.